Hey guys, how's everyone today?
I'm lovely. Absolutely lovely. I feel a little bit old, and I would like to tell you about it.
I would like to hear about it.
So my dad was in town last week, and it was lovely. We went out to pizza, and as I was ordering up at the cashier deal, the cashier box.
Yes, that's what they call it.
Yes, on Earth. It was really foggy the last few days. And so, we don't have much to talk about. It's just ordering pizza. And he's like, hey, it's been foggy, right? I said, yeah, it's been really foggy. And he says, have you seen Silent Hill? I'm like, seen? You mean played?
Yeah.
What?
You can play it?
He said he was 21. I don't know why that came up. But,
like as you said, did
yeah,
you not know that it was a game?
Right? I had played Silent Hill. I almost said Resident Evil. Silent Hill 1 on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
1.
Yeah, kids listening. Silent Hill was on the PlayStation 1.
Yeah, kids.
So my last PlayStation 1 experience was I had never played Metal Gear Solid when those games came out. I never really got into Metal Gear Solid in general. And me and a buddy were like, all right, I found a used copy of Metal Gear Solid for the PS1 for like $3 or something. It was like it's like 3 discs or something. Anyway, I'm playing it, and it's so hard. It's so hard. I'm playing so terribly. I'm really concentrating. Like, okay, I got to get by this guy. Okay, how do I crawl against go around here? Oh my god, I died again. I'm just like tracing my path over and over. Me and my buddy having a hard. I mean, I'm not kidding. It took us like 2 or 3 hours to get to this freaking elevator. And as the elevator goes up, we're like, okay, we can like go to the next part. The title came up. It was all before the title, and that took me 2 or 3 hours to even get through that. And I said, wow, I don't know if we're gonna beat this game today, my friend.
Oof. Now, I never had a PlayStation 1. I had the N64, but my buddy had the PlayStation 1, and he was reeled into Metal Gear Solid. He's like, hey, come over here and look at this. And so I go over to his house, and he yelled from across town.
Mm-hmm.
So I go over there, and I guess there's like maybe a torture scene or something, and you're supposed to resist torture by hitting X really fast.
That's how I usually avoid torture. What about you guys?
Mm-hmm. Not avoid.
Oh,
you're already in. Yeah, you got to
yeah.
resist it. Yeah, and so apparently the game had something to guard against controllers with like turbo
controllers
button feature. Yeah, and so the way he got around it was he went and got a spoon from the kitchen, and he rubbed the spoon back and forth over the X really fast.
How good was this guy at Mario Party?
I've never seen something like that. Oh, probably amazing.
Probably amazing.
Yeah, you couldn't tell what any of the buttons were because they'd all been worn bare.
Awesome though. I like it.
Okay.
Ground down, ground off.
Yeah, you like give it to like a younger brother. Hey, kid, press A. What? It's all circles.
This is a PlayStation.
It's just all the springs sticking out. Sharp pieces of metal. It's not even buttons anymore.
Yeah, kid, enjoy
You can
this.
play with the second player controller. It's just a handful of nails.
Yeah, I actually want to bust out like the N64, play with my kids soon. I'm trying to decide what N64 game it should be. I think the 3D depth thing is still kind of tough. I played what is that Bowser's Fury side game that's out there? Bowser's Fury. It is Bowser's Fury.
That's the one.
Yeah, and he was having a really tough time.
I was trying to remember the Mario it was on.
The angles and the camera and all that kind of thing. So I was trying to think like on 64, it's simpler, but isn't the camera worse? Like,
oh yeah, you gotta bloop around him with the C
buttons,
right and left buttons.
Yeah. What about like DK64? Same thing?
Ooh.
I don't remember.
I only played Diddy Kong Racing. I'm sorry, I just don't know.
That's a good one though. That's a good one.
It is.
If you haven't played DK64, you should give it a shot. Guys, I got scammed this week.
I want to hear.
Yeah, I was at work.
Is it by me?
And I got a call. And
sometimes it's by me.
It sounded extremely real. I promise you, I'm not one to fall for. I'm not a gullible person, really. But they left a voicemail just saying that they're from the town near me. Can't say what the town I live in because, Yeerk behind me. The police department. And it's just an urgent matter, just call back when I can. So I did. Man, gave me lots of info, big information dump, very fast talking, kind of grunty speaking, talking about, how I missed jury duty. And I also didn't, respond to any further, contact about missing jury duty. And now I had an option of either pleading guilty or doing some other civil plea.
And you're like, oh, now you know what my phone number is.
Yeah. And I was just like, yeah, like, why didn't you? I was just trying to think, like, why didn't you call me before? Why is it escalated to this point? He wanted me to go in that day, which was like, fine, okay, you close at 5, I'll leave in a few hours. It took me forever to get to work. I'm not gonna leave right now. But it has to be right now. And at that point I left. I got in the parking garage and I was like, I don't know if this is real. I don't think this is real, but I can't figure out the scam. He didn't ask me for money. I wasn't gonna give him like my driver's license number or my bank account number or something. He never asked. So what's his end game? He gave me an address to go to, which was not the courthouse. It was
be murdered.
It was the detainment, like jail. It was like to a place where cops are.
This scam is just getting killed.
It's just murder. Yeah. Well, yeah. If it was like random ass
life, great job.
Loot.
If it was like random ass parking lot, sure, I get it. But like it was like a parking lot at a jail where cops are. So like, what are you doing? Maybe I got like a guy that was new. He's like not fully into the scamming program yet. He's still like figuring it out.
Okay, how do I get there? Oh, well, you know what? I feel bad for you. If you just give me like $2,000 in iTunes gift cards, we can call the whole thing off.
Yeah, that's enough.
You skip any jury duty with enough iTunes gift cards.
And you won't ever have to go to jury duty again. I won't call you.
It's government tender, all right? They take cash, they take checks that are verified by your bank, and then iTunes gift cards. Those are the only.
And then iTunes gift cards.
That's all we take. I'm sorry. No Apple Pay.
Yeah, so watch out for the. I looked it up, and there was like a news thing about how in the last like 2 months it's become a thing. So don't get suckered into jury duty or some guy making you feel bad. That's the moral of my story. Speaking of not being able to trust anyone.
Watch out for those Yeerks. They'll get you.
Do you see that smooth transition? I think it's about that time. Welcome to Animorphs number 55, the podcast. I'm Zach, one of your hosts.
I'm going to wait until Alex introduces himself.
I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself as Alex, another one of your hosts.
And I'm Patrick. Host number 3 this week.
Maybe even the host with the most. And today we're going to read
volume.
Book number 3, the something.
Can I make a confession?
Yes.
Oh, good. I don't know what any of these books are called other than it's Animorphs Book 3.
Well, let's think about, they're very relevant. The first one, The Invasion. Okay. The second one, though, The Visitor, I guess.
Who visited?
Rachel visited Chapman, maybe? Or visited through hologram? Visited her.
Please, we're trying to keep this family friendly.
Yes. And then the encounter. They encountered a thing that they didn't expect to encounter.
A lady hawk.
I think that's probably it.
Very pretty.
Oh, the hawk, or the giant ship, or...
Yeah, all you guys reading along at home, do you remember that ship? It was a pretty big part of the story.
Yeah, speaking of the story, let's see what it says on the back, shall we?
All right.
When Tobias, Jake, Rachel, Marco, and Cassie were given the ability to morph, they were also given one very important warning. Never stay in a morph for more than 2 hours. It seemed a small price to pay, since the kids know that humans everywhere are being forced to let slimy, spineless creatures creep into their brains. And the only way that the kids can fight back is not to be human. But Tobias stayed in the morph too long, and now he's a hawk, with a boy's mind, forever. Tobias knows he can't give up. That they all made a promise, so now it's 4 kids and a hawk against a force that's determined to destroy them. Or die trying. Also, the front says, now you see them, now you don't. This is all very generic, I feel.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about everybody in the big ship that turns invisible, sure, now we see them, now we don't.
Ooh,
But
okay.
in another sense, we don't see any of them because this is a book.
Also, maybe
My
they were talking
imagination.
about the Jesse Eisenberg movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that might have been a reference to Woody Harrelson.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. So, who wants to kick us off?
You better believe it. All right.
Yeah, waiting is working for me this week.
It really is pulling through. All right, let's see. So, Tobias has a tiny bird brain, and he can't remember what it's like to be people. I remember that being a very big element of basically the whole book. I know that could be in any chapter, really. He can still read, but he can't remember what he looked like. So I don't know enough about the brain to know whether that's right or wrong. Let's see. We've got Tobias being not sneaky because he's a bird and he likes being a bird. Did y'all get a count on number of thermals or seers?
Golly, I mean, that word is so used so much.
Uncomfortably so.
Yeah. Although I don't have it at the moment on me, but I did catch one where it was, I think it said hot wind. I think he said instead. He said hot wind, and I was very proud of him for that.
Oh, okay. I asked Google Gemini AI, if you don't know, because how many times is the word thermal used in Animorphs Book 3? What do you guys want to guess?
Ooh.
Are we hang on, Price is Right rules or like closest vowel going over, or is this just...
Sure. Price is Right.
All right.
Price is Right.
Okay. So
Drew Carey version.
there's 20-something chapters. I mean, there's more than one per chapter.
14.
Really. Oof, I'm gonna go closer. I'm gonna go one per chapter. I'm gonna say 25.
Zach, you should have gone with 1. Alex wins. It's 13.
13.
According to Google Gemini.
I call BS on Google Gemini. I think I've said it 13 times just in this conversation.
Probably.
Yeah, so...
All right, everybody at home, just hold your horses. I'm gonna count, but we do need this on.
Yeah. Alex, go ahead. Go with this plot you've got developed here.
Well, I mean, you're really going to be surprised with this one because, when we're in a plot of, the Animorphs going around causing property damage and, in general, just all kinds of amuckness that they have run, we then find out that there's a giant ship in the sky, according to Tobias, and everyone thinks he's crazy. But as it turns out, you find out later he's not. He's just a bird.
There is a giant ship. Yeah, the craziness at the beginning. As a kid, you're like, yeah, screw that car dealership. Yeah, you need to save that bird. As an adult, I'm like, bro, calm down. Like, guy's just trying to make a living. It's not the worst thing that he has a bird for a mascot, is it? I mean, people do that for, like, sports teams.
Now, as a professional entertainer, I think, why are you recording a commercial live?
Yeah, well,
the public access channel had a great deal on it being free to just broadcast whatever you want. So
yeah, I didn't think of that.
It worked out great.
Like, they do this, Rachel and Tobias do this, and then they get, like, later on at the barn or wherever they meet, they, all the other ones say, I saw it on TV. They,
it did air. It was
wrecked
not like
that guy's commercial. So it's apparently on a popular enough channel that all the other Animorphs are watching it. Now remember, this is the mid-90s. Unless you have cable, there's only like 4 channels.
Yeah, PBS is one of them probably.
Yeah, kids.
Yeah.
Lucky kids today.
Yeah.
With your streaming and your YouTubes.
And your Kesha.
And wherever you're listening to this podcast on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we do at ad drop for various podcasting platforms. Yeah. So the Rachel and Tobias get reamed out by the team, right? And then they see that big ship.
And as they're seeing the big ship,
Tobias...
go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Tobias is flying off by himself. And sees the big ship for the first time because he's having an identity crisis. He doesn't know what it's. I think he might be being dramatic, but it's been 2 weeks. He doesn't remember what he looks like. He doesn't remember what food is. He doesn't. I don't know. He's a hawk now, and yeah, I can see that not being ideal. I would beat myself up a little bit. And flying about it seems like a good coping mechanism. So he goes up and he flies and sees this big ship. Well, no, he sees nothing, right? He's just a few miles above him, he says. There's
like rippling.
There's something wrong with the sky.
Yeah.
He's got these super cool hawk eyes, which he might talk about more than he talks about thermals.
How he can see like the hands of a watch from like a mile away.
Mm-hmm.
And we watch as this giant ship in the sky just absolutely creams an entire flock of geese. It's just going by and it just, look, there's a goose right there. And he's describing like, the goose flew into it and just got massacred. And then all the other geese flew into it too.
Dude,
and it's
that was the
not
funniest
just
part
like,
of the books.
Yes, and it's not just like they hit the geese and the geese are like, and they fall.
They're like rolling.
Like one of them like rolls along the top, just an absolute slapstick of a sequence. Yeah,
I thought it was great.
I'm still being hit.
But we do determine he's having a real hard time with being a bird. Like he's eating at a Tupperware, and he's like, I kind of miss school, I guess. And
Jake set up a little room for him in his attic.
Yeah. So this whole book is him battling that idea, right? But at the same time, later he does have that moment of realization where he's like, oh wow, I could be a half morph wolf freak, or I could be a trout, and this is better than both of those. So I'm probably fine.
The unintentional humor.
Let's find out what Zach is talking about by continuing the story summary.
Yeah.
The unintentional humor that goes on of I believe it's Jake who brings him the hamburger, green beans, and mashed potatoes. Like, have none of these children ever heard of animals' diets at all? Just like, can you guess? Maybe. No, I'm just gonna bring what Mom made.
Have a friend who's a bird that they could ask.
This is what Kay Applegate was doing. He was like, was like, look, I'm going to teach these kids that red-tailed hawks can't eat mashed potatoes because I know they all think that. Let me write these books so that they have a better sense of what hawks do. Thermals.
These kids out there. These kids out there trying to catch hawks with mashed potatoes. Yeah. I'll show you how to catch hawks.
Yeah. You think they're going to eat green beans? I'll show you. Yeah.
We then get the scene that that we all know and love of all of the birds flying together. We get a smattering of various different varietals of birds, all deciding to go ahead and go on a nice fly together to get out over the woods. And he wonders to himself, maybe those controllers are watching out for me, which leads to the better question of, do you just have controllers who are like, I'm taking a weekend off, I'm a Yeerk, and I'd love to go look at animals. That sounds like a lovely pastime.
This is the first instance of that slight obsession about there's people looking at, I mean, are you guys often staring up at the sky, like all the time? Like, I guess,
you know what? It's time for an ad. Attention all bird enthusiasts.
Yeah?
I mean, those who are really, really enthusiastic about birds.
Yes.
Do you want to take your bird watching to the next level? A fanatical, somewhat alarming level?
Maybe.
Then do we have the obsessive ornithologists for you? Imagine a life where all you do is search the sky all day, eager to call out if the wrong birds are grouped up together.
What?
No school, no family, no job. Just you and your binoculars deciding how close that bald eagle and that peregrine falcon should be before it's considered, too close.
That's pretty specific.
Can they fly 100 feet apart? Can they fly 50 feet apart? What about osprey? Do they flock together?
I don't.
The other day I was watching a northern harrier, right? It was flying with a red-tailed hawk a few yards away, and I thought nothing of it. But then, they were only a few feet away and still flying. My wife told me to stop standing in the yard watching birds, but I couldn't shake the feeling, you know? You know what I'm saying? My little boy wanted to play catch with me, but I told him, no, Timmy, don't you understand? That hawk and that harrier are flying too close. My wife grabbed my kid and left, going to her mother's house. None of them understand birds the way I do. Understand? None of them. I'll keep watching these birds and judging how close they fly together until I die. We have to constantly watch. Ever vigilant. Do you understand? Hello? Are you still interested? Hello? Brought to you by the local birdwatching group of...
Perfect.
And we're back.
So that's I feel like that's going to become a thing in the future. Just cutting it. So I guess Tobias always was looking up at the sky all the time. So maybe he right because didn't it say he kind of like just wanders around just staring off into space? Like maybe he just thinks everyone does that and is just
like a
really
big
looking
thing
at
in
these
spy
birds.
movies. A big thing in spy movies is nobody looks up. Like you don't
Yeah.
know what your ceiling looks like. People hide in movies up on the ceiling all the time, and nobody looks up. It's so.
Also, like I'm busy. Like if I saw a couple of different kinds of birds flying, I'd be like, "Look, birds."
Mind your
Man,
business.
that's
Yeah,
the maximum. That's the maximum thought I'll have about it.
Like I was on a walk. And my son's like, "Hey, what kind of plant is that?" I don't know.
Yeah, like what
I'm
is
not
it?
a plantologist.
You didn't look at it and go, that plant is not indigenous to this region and this climate.
Those plants are too close together.
That
Those
plant would
plants
not be hanging out
are
with
$300.
Let's get 'em.
Let's get them.
Plantamorphs.
There's a
Exactly.
reference for you. Yeah. So that's just I feel like that's going to come up a lot, but
A
whatever.
bunch of miscellaneous birds fly over. They're going a really far way. Oh, because Tobias at one point followed the hole in the sky that turned out to be a big ship.
A big.
We skip over
ship.
this whole thing. We skip over this. It flies up to the mountains and sucks up a bunch of water out of this lake like a big straw. And they theorize that they are using it for water
and air
to have a lot of water.
and
Because
air.
they
Yeah.
they're going up to the spaceship. I was like, why don't they just turn on their hose?
Yeah,
But
I don't
that
know
makes
how much
sense.
they've described a mothership, but it's just like implied that there's one, I guess, this whole time, or maybe they just said it before. I can't remember. But there's a ship out.
I think they talked about it when Elfhanger got shot down.
Nice.
It's like we fought them, but the mothership.
Like he got shot down and he was
Got
like
me.
trying to hit on somebody. He just got shot down. You're just
Yeah.
okay.
Hey girl, what a morph.
Hey girl,
No,
look at my eyes up here.
my eyes are up here and down here.
What
Yeah,
would lead them to believe that they have to replace the water in the air? Just like, that's
I
probably a
think it's
reasonable
just-
theory.
Yeah, total hypothesis. I mean,
But yeah, I mean,
turns
they
out
can't
they're just
land
having
the
water
mothership.
gunfights or something, and it's not a real problem in the first place.
They can't land the mothership because it's expensive to launch it again.
Mm-hmm.
And so they need to bring tons and tons and tons of water up to it.
In this giant ship that really is described as quite big. I don't know about like Independence Day big, but I got like
You
impressions
said
of that.
skyscraper on its side.
Okay.
That is big.
Yeah.
Skyscraper up and down would be a weird shaped ship.
Yes.
Shape.
It
Weird
actually
ship
wouldn't be
shape.
very big from underneath it. It'd be like a square, like a small square.
Mhm.
So yeah. This is when they all go as wolves, right? And they go up.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Tobias did the thing in the mountains. He saw. Okay, so they crashed the car dealership commercial. Tobias they all go home and they yell at him for wrecking the commercial because they worked hard on that. Then Tobias has his identity crisis. He flies up to the mountains and sees them steal the water. I don't know. And then he goes back and he tells them, and then all the Animorphs turn into birds, fly as close to the lake as they can get,
and then go wolf.
turn into wolves, and run for an hour and
but
15 minutes.
They run for an hour and 15 minutes, and then they go. I don't know about you guys, but this part stuck out to me. And then they're on the edge, like, okay, I see the lakes over there. All right, we need to go explore this as wolves. We got about 40 minutes left. We can't possibly demorph right now and restart our morph clock. We just have to go straight in, way too big of a hurry, and then freak out about the time at the end when we don't have enough time for this. Ugh, that bothered me.
Yeah, but, as somebody who's reading a book, the tension is nice. I don't want to read Da Vinci Code and, oh, hey, there's a bomb in here. Well, can you turn it off? I want to go eat. Then you can turn it back on.
Did you try demorphing and remorphing again? That usually fixes the problem.
That fixed the issue. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so then they turn into wolves, or they are wolves. They get up to the lake. They see a bunch of phony park rangers. They're probably real park rangers, but they've been Yeerk, and they chase a bunch of people away, and they see for themselves that the ship is taking the water, and Tobias is like, I'm getting out of here, and now he does something, and
he goes and flies with the birdie. There's the bird that he saved from the commercial.
Oh.
He's going to go make out with that bird.
He tries to stay incognito. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work because all the people are there.
And then that's the freak out. Oh my god, you're out of time. If only we had remorphed.
Well, there's another pack of wolves that he as I'm reading it for the first time, he's like, hey guys, the lake's up ahead. And they're like, grrr. Like, what are you guys, stupid? Come on, talk to me. And it turns out they're real wolves. There's an extra wolf, bonus wolf. And
was it like the third closest wolf that was growling? Ah, deep cut.
Nobody knows that reference except for you two. I wrote a sequel to Blank Check, the movie from 1994, and there was a big sequence in it about ghost wolves. And if you can find a copy, you should read it. It's delightful.
Good plug.
Thank you. And so he's like, he hangs out with Lady Bird for a little bit, and then he's like, hey guys, the park ranger's watch says it's time for you to morph. You have no time. And then they're in a, dominance battle with these, like a stare down with the real wolves. So there's 4 Animorph wolves and 5 standard issue wolves just growling at each other.
Mm. Yeah.
And so what, Tobias throws a rabbit at them? What happens?
He just dive because they're fighting over a rabbit. So he's exactly.
Oh, okay. So he didn't just go find a rabbit and throw it at them.
Nah, that's what they were fighting about.
That'd be funny.
Yeah,
okay.
It's pretty effective. I mean, it's pretty smart. I thought it was a pretty good way to do it because he can't do anything because he's a bird, and he can't even. I thought about this too. Not only just you're a bird, but any injuries, you're going into battle. Any injuries, you're stuck with those injuries. I don't know why I never really connected that. You can't get hurt. You break your wing, you are screwed.
Mm-hmm. So then they are a minute or two over their 2 hours, but I think you see this a few times in the series. They get. Sorry to break the tension. They get really close to being stuck in morph, and it's really hard to unmorph. They describe it as trying to swim through molasses or something.
Sand, or I can't remember. Yeah,
it's just real tough. And so everybody's like, "I'm so glad I didn't get stuck as an animal. That would have been terrible. I would have just ended it. That would have been just." The worst thing to possibly... Oh, hi, Tobias. And so Tobias is like,
Yep.
You guys don't like me at all.
Yeah,
I'm
whatever,
leaving.
guys.
And so he flies away. He does.
And then scene break, right? Like they're just like, okay, it's over.
Yeah, he gets
and
a
he
little
comes
bit of
back
context
a
and a
few
little bit
days-
of perspective on his whole situation. He's basically like, going to school would be kind of lame, and instead I've got other things that are important to me, and so I'm cool with an ordinary teenager despite being stuck as a bird. Which, I
can fly.
it's good perspective to have on things. Unfortunately, he's rapidly confronted with the reality of his situation whenever he is like, oh, look, there's a rat right there, and goes after it and steers straight into it. So,
Very nearly chows down on that rat.
yeah, he's got the flavor in his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
He's tasted rat blood.
Flavor blasted rat.
I think that is the newest flavor. Yeah.
A rat goldfish.
Your flavor plastic rat. Gross.
All right, we're coming up with a new commercial.
Yeah, good. Write that one down. Yeah, so they're like, we're gonna come back here this next weekend, and is that when he has a couple intimate conversations
he
with
lives
Rachel.
he lives as a bird for a couple of days following his seeing them almost get stuck, and so he's like, I'm gonna just eat mice and live in a tree and
not yet. You're skipping a bit. That was a different moment.
Okay, I did forget my notebook.
It's all good. It was. I'm just trying to remember what the catalyst was, because him freaking out and being a bird was a result of the mall incident. I'm just trying to think if there's anything before the mall incident. I mean, I think the mall incident is probably the next big thing.
You're right.
Oh, the
Alex, what do you think about the mall?
the mall conversation was interesting, especially following up on the whole thing where it's like, I don't really want to be watched when I'm doing the balance beam exposition at the middle of my local mall. It was very much so a confluence of, in the 90s, we did a lot of things live that really weren't that entertaining, but because there was nothing better on TV, we decided, let's just go ahead and put it together.
Yes.
I'd love to go watch some 13-year-olds jump around on a balance beam. That really just rivets me.
Right next to the Chick-fil-A. Just hanging out, and this is my Saturday.
Yeah. I just want to have a quiet meal in the food court, but nope, somebody's got to set up a balance beam and do a bunch of flips. So it is what it is. And Marco committing property damage himself by throwing a baseball through the window, through the glass of the ceiling.
The skylight. We gotta explain why Marco is defacing property.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Valid point.
Tobias flies full speed at the sliding glass doors, like the motion activated doors.
He is freaking out.
Luckily, yeah, he is not having a good time.
Because
I gotta wake myself up from this terrible dream by slamming into these doors. And so he tries, but somebody's walking there, and it opens for him. And so then he's flying, he says 80 miles an hour through the mall.
And meanwhile, he's freaking out because he killed an animal and ate it. Or started to eat it.
Yeah.
And he's just like, what have I done? Who am I? This is the worst. I hate everything. Goodbye, cruel bird world.
No one's ever eaten rats before. Yeah, I mean, no human has ever tasted of rat meat, therefore I am an inhuman monster. I mean, like, maybe calm down just a little bit, bud. I mean, maybe take some perspective here.
Do you really think he really was going to Hot Topic? Just because he's being emo? You think that was the
I
point of going
can't
to the
find
mall?
the hot topic. Better slam into a wall.
It's the only two
So he
options.
tries to fly into the skylight. I think the hawk mind is like, hey, it's the outdoors. And Tobias is like, you know what? I'm going to go fast.
Yeah, I don't care. Yep.
And then Marco has a baseball with him in the mall watching a gymnastics competition or performance. And he throws it up at the skylight and breaks it just before Tobias runs into it. And luckily at that point, Tobias is like, you know what? I'm tired of running into stuff. I'm just going to go live as a bird.
And he does. So what was it was an interesting first glimpse into attempted suicide 3 books into this series. Wow.
Bold choices by K.A.
Alex.
Applegate.
Mm-hmm.
It just gets heavier. No wonder this wasn't on my accelerated reader list.
Yeah.
But then fortunately enough, because this is getting too heavy, and I think that they're realizing that they need to reel the children back in. So we need to talk about how good looking that Lady Hawk is. And how it was his hawk. She was looking for him. And he's like, no, I'm not ready to get married. Sexy Lady Hawk.
Not ready to settle down.
So he has to fly off, but he holds her in his heart still. And I think that's beautiful.
Yeah. And looks back every once in a while flying, which is very difficult to do.
Yeah. Zach in his first-hand experience.
Yeah. Yeah. So the plan is let's do this thing. He did help he snapped out of it because he helped a human escape from a horse.
Yeah.
Which was a cool description.
He went back to the lake that they were draining, and the Yeerks are chasing some guy, and they're like, well, he's seen our Harpagir, we gotta kill him. And Tobias's mind is like, oh, there's predator and prey. It's no big deal. I'm a hawk. That's life. Get used to it. Wait. Why is that guy covered in spikes? That's a Harpagir. Wait, that's a human.
Right, exactly.
And snaps him out of it.
Yeah, it was a very cool description. Predator, prey, and like this how he's talking about him kind of very informally, very impersonal.
I believed that it was a hawk person talking to me.
Yeah. Cool.
I mean, you know.
Yeah, he's a boy first, Patrick. Didn't
boy
Rachel
first.
make that straight?
Hawk boy. Boy hawk.
And then it's let's do this mission. Let's go. They don't necessarily want to take the ship down. They just want to. They don't want to take the water ship down.
Topical.
Is it topical? Is a book from like 1993 or whatever that we read in 1993? Not that it was written
June 1996.
Okay, let's do it.
June or July 1996.
Another Price is Right rules. What year was Watership Down written? 88. Ready?
Oh, what am I doing?
This is the content that people came to listen for. The year that it was published, Watership Down was published. We're really going hard on this Watership Down joke.
What year was Watership Down released movie? The movie Watership Down was released in 1978.
Oh, okay. So the movie's probably before that. Yeah, so we went over
Still,
again.
it could have been an inspiration for their plan. And
obviously.
And so they don't need to crash this ship over their city. They just want to be inside the ship and figure out a way to turn off the cloaking device so that the whole city is like, hey, look. Yes. Hey, look. There's a big old spaceship up there. What's that about? Let's start asking questions. And so they get there an hour early or 2 hours early and
let's be a fish. Let's catch a fish.
Now remember, this was the 90s. You could just be out all day and nobody stopped you.
I thought about that as like a from the dad point of view now. Like if my 12-year-old or whatever was just gone all day,
just oot in the boot,
no phone. I guess that's what it was. It's tough now.
Time.
As long as he wasn't trick or treating without checking his candy first.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, they were doing like dangerous stuff. They're like, "Is this cave have a bear in it or not?" Like, I don't know. We'll find out.
No way to find out. But walk in.
Yeah. So they're like, This is our first time to be a water. Almost said water Pokemon, but I meant water animal. And fish are not Pokemon. And they're trout. They catch a trout. They fish. It takes forever to get the freaking trout. They're all annoyed, which resonated with me. I'm not the best at fishing. And get sucked up right into that big old ship straw, which I think of like those boba tea straws, like those big thick ones.
Big mouth Billy Bass. Oh, boba tea.
Yes, that too.
They should have just touched one of those. Then they could have sung their way onto the ship instead of being sucked up.
That's true. And at that point, I mean, I don't know. I have a bit of a thing with like the ocean, for example. I feel like just them describing, I'm gonna go up in this. I don't fault them for it. It's a good plan, but it still is pretty scary to think I'm gonna go up in this straw thing, and I don't know. Like once I get in there, like, is there a way out? Like, is there even any air? Like, they're lucky that there even was like water rising and it wasn't just already full. They didn't know about the grate. They couldn't open this grate. They found out. But,
this is a horrible plan. There's no part of this that's a good plan. You don't know what the ship is like. You don't know what the tank is like. You don't know if you're gonna be able to morph into something else that gets out. You have nothing else that can breathe water. There's no part of this plan that is just like, I really put all these things together. Every single bit of this, they fly by the seat of their pants, and it is just fortunate.
They were very nearly trout of luck. Heyo!
I died.
That was good. That was good. I'll give it to you.
Yeah, but we do have these ships chasing Tobias on, but they
hold
can't
on.
shoot him.
Yeah, hold on though. So they catch these fish, and then they go in the cave, and they start morphing one by one because they don't know what being a fish is going to be like. What point are they going to not be able to breathe? And so they morph into fish one by one in the cave, and have Tobias fly them out because the Yeerks are already at the lake.
Yeah.
And so just. It really speaks to how little the Yeerks pay attention to their surroundings. Tobias throws 3 fish. It's like, oh, that hawk carrying the fish, throwing them in, just throwing fish in the water.
It's
a weird hawk.
Birds are.
Wait a second. There's a hawk in this cave. Kill it.
There's a
and
hawk
so
in
he starts flying away. He starts flying away, and he's trying to play it cool like he's a real hawk, but he suspects they suspect him.
Especially when a big super baddie shows up unexpectedly. Was that an Andalite Doc Eyes impression?
Oh no,
Alex?
it was the finger guns for the Dracon beam that I love. The Hork-Bajir. I enjoyed that scene where you got the human controller and the Hork-Bajir, and they're just like ragging on each other. Like they're just work buddies, and it's like, oh, why don't you go over there and check out that hole? It's like, why don't you go over there and check it out? You're the guy with the knives for arms. I loved it. It was beautiful, and just this small little slice of life that you get out of these two people that they're trying to wipe out life, and they're trying to infect, all of the creatures with free will. But you know what? They're just a couple of guys just hanging out with a weapon that blows holes in ships that are a mile up. It is what it is.
Trying to get through the workday, man. Just trying to live through that
working 9 to
5.
5. Exactly.
Yeah. And but it is weird that there's more and more people around, and it turns out that Visser 3 is making his 3rd appearance out of 3 books. But no morphs. No crazy morphs that he does in this one. I don't even know if they see him. Do they just...
Well, I'm going to turn into a larger fish and chase you.
Yeah, sounds about right. Nope. I mean, does Tobias just hear him? Like, from the ship? I don't think he ever actually sees him. He just knows he's there, the blade ship and all that.
Well, because he lays down on top of the ship. And Visser 3's like, I know about birds. They don't lie down on top of ships. They try and fly away, you fool.
Certainly.
How does...
Certainly don't live in caves.
Yeah, how does Visser 3 know so much about animal behavior, but, these children who've lived on this planet their whole life don't know that birds don't eat green beans, okay? I
mean... Zing! Hey, also, I have a question about Dracon beams. So one of them shot the big truck ship, and it made a little hole in it, and they freaked out. Another one at some point shoots a bird, and just the wing disappears. Another one shoots a deer, and the whole deer disappears. How do Dracon beams work?
I think it's like the flashlights that you roll the front of it, and it's either got that narrow focus beam, or it's super wide, but it doesn't go very far.
Ooh.
Or it's a club.
Or... There might. I don't know. It's like
90s flashlights.
what a reference.
You guys remember flashlights from the 90s?
Yeah, you kids don't have them anymore like we did.
I got flashlights every year for Christmas. That was what I always asked for. Like, people were like, why did you get so many flashlights as a kid? And I was like, oh, because flashlights were the best. I don't know where I thought I was going to be that I needed a new flashlight every single year that ran on a different type of battery, and how my budget was going to keep up with the batteries. Yeah, but man, I was into it.
You don't need to get the batteries if you just get another flashlight.
Exactly.
Raving is going to be a huge thing, and I think flashlights are even better than glow sticks.
Ooh, wow. That's a hot take. I don't disagree with you, but I still think the glow stick community might come out of the woodwork for this one.
But they're bigger. If you're a professional raver, go and recommend this podcast to all of your friends. Leave some reviews. I'll think about my stance.
Yeah, tell us why you think the glow sticks are better than flashlights.
Willing to
Email
reconsider.
us, please.
All of our iTunes reviews are, hey, you don't say that about glow sticks.
How dare you?
Screw these guys. 1 out of 5.
Glow sticks built this country, okay?
So, speaking of this country that the Animorphs are saving, you like that transition back?
We don't know that it's America. Could be.
You know it's America, and the reason that you know it's America is because Tobias, a bird, picks up a gun and he proceeds to fire it with his little bird feet. And it was,
and also there's a bald eagle later.
I'm going to have to, I don't want to spoil too much, but that was a strong impact on my overall score for this book, is the fact that a bird picked up a gun and fired it as long as he could. Beautiful.
Yeah. I thought Tobias did a pretty good job, man. He's like, okay, I'm on this big ship. I feel like I'm screwed. Oh, they can't shoot me. Let me fly over here. Let me grab this. Let me shoot this thing down. Let me shoot the whole thing down. YOLO, I don't care about anything anymore. My friends are going to die. I'm going to die. Everything sucks. Taking you down with me.
The Yeerks, in an incredible show of force, are like, well, we're just going to accelerate in our ship, holding hundreds, thousands of tons of water faster than you can as a hawk. And we're going to get away from you and then shoot you.
Yeah.
And they kind of almost succeed.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But then we do have a bit of a perfect shoot the Dragon Beam through the cockpit, make the ship go crazy, hit stuff that's around you, and a perfect hole blows in the side of the ship with a waterfall pouring out, and here come the Animorphs who thought they were doomed to fly out of the side of the ship, which would also scare the crap out of me.
Luckily, they had already morphed back to human, so they don't have to go fish to human over the course of a 3-minute fall, followed by morphing to birds.
Yep.
Again. And so they're humans, they fall out of the ship, they turn into birds, almost don't make it. I think Marco slams through some branches or something, but they get away, and we just don't worry about this giant spaceship wreckage in the woods.
Yeah, it described as so big, and then it's like, yep, the Yeerks cleaned it up. They did?
Yep. Don't worry
something
about
the size of a skyscraper fell on a bunch of trees.
And helicopters
big rectangle of trees that are flattened. Probably some stuff on fire.
Okay, here's how you clean it up. Everyone has a Draken Beam. You turn all of them up to maximum, whatever the sizzle of the deer out of existence setting is, and you all do it to the ship, and it's gone. It's actually really helpful, right? You can clean houses with Draken Beams if you put them on a setting.
It disintegrates dust. It turns it into smaller dust. Yes.
Perfect.
That's what the atmosphere is full of now. No, I did the math on this though, not to be a Debbie Downer about this whole thing, but earlier in the book they talk about it takes about 2 minutes for Cassie, who's the fastest, to go ahead and morph, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And Tobias says, "Oh, we're the ship's about 700 feet up. I'm watching them. They're 700 feet up there. They're falling out of the ship, and they're humans." And
they did say 700 feet up? Okay.
He did say that, and now his estimation skills may be in question. Just going to go ahead and throw that out there. But at
Right.
Earth's gravitational pull, that's 32 feet per second, leading to, if we're looking at some air resistance, around a 10-second fall. So you're saying that just in the moment of adrenaline, they were able to, in the nick of time. I don't know. I don't buy it. This is all a fever dream from here on. That's my canon.
Yeah, I just asked Google Gemini because I wanted my own numbers. It says that in 3 minutes, they would have fallen 317,000 meters. Which I haven't checked, but my goodness.
I guess if you have the extra motivation, morph like no problem at all. Which on all future.
Oh, that's it with no air resistance.
In future books, there should be no problem with speed morphing ever again, right?
You would think.
Yeah, and it was a fairly quick wrap up.
Again, yeah.
I'm fine. Okay, again, yeah. I thought maybe I was the only one. Like, kind of all three of them get in all three books so far. You get in this crazy intense scenario, and then it's a fairly quick escape, right? Like the Yeerk Pool, they ran out. And people were falling as they ran out. This last one, the second one, they back at the construction site, concrete monster, run away, fly away, and then this one,
we'll get them next time.
Hole first. Let's go, get out. They are faster wrap-ups than I recall.
Now, Tobias in this book led a guy away from them, right? Like the guy saw the Hork-Bajir in the mountains, and Tobias led him away.
Yeah, that's what snapped him out of being a hawk.
Okay, so they freed one person in the first book, and they
prevented Melissa from being one if she was gonna. Although, they probably were gonna make her become one because of their interference. But sure, yeah,
yeah. But like people that I guess know about the aliens now, we're at 2.
We're at 2.
Plus Animorphs, plus the Yeerks probably know about themselves.
Maybe. Yeah. So at this rate, after all the books,
we'll have 1.5 rescues per book.
We'll have like 20-something people will know about it in the whole world.
It's that easy.
Perfect.
And then the book ends on the real big bummer of Tobias's potential future wife just getting got.
Oh yeah, that bird is dead. Super dead bird. Should they have a funeral? No, Rachel, that's stupid. It's a bird. That's what Tobias says. Like, I get it,
She's
but no, don't be dumb.
No. Tobias says something to the effect of, no, that hawk's definitely in the bellies of several raccoons.
Yeah, that's how it works. And I'll probably eat those raccoons another time.
So we will be together.
Forever.
Circle of life, baby.
Yeah. And with that, he's like, I'm going to be a hawk now, guys. Let's do it. So, I mean, he didn't really tell Jake, but it seems like he's just going to be a hawk now, I guess. Maybe we'll have a conversation with him later. Review time?
Yeah, let's do it.
Ad break. See, that's going to be our thing now. And we're back. Who wants to go first?
Oh, I got this one.
No.
All right.
Yeah, my whole deal this week is waiting.
Okay.
I guess I'm announcing it to the world that I'm waiting, but
I'm taking the initiative to tell you that I'm waiting. Beautiful. This one was wild from start to finish because you've got so much angst and ennui, which I get. I mean, you've got, a teenager stuck inside of a large parakeet's body, and trying to struggle through, puberty.
So many fans.
Yeah, puberty plus, also being a small bird is a little rough. So I think that was very intriguing to see inside of his mind. As far as a lot of the plot points, I don't know. It really just seemed like it was furthering Tobias being angsty about what he already felt angsty about. So didn't move a whole lot that way. And then Tobias shot a gun. So altogether, I'm giving this one an 8.5 out of 10 because shooting a gun gives you 2.5 points well, you're in animal form in my book. So overall,
Everybody,
kind of a
not your book.
6.
Everybody knows that. That's a pretty common scoring thing. It's 2 points if you're in an animal and shoot a gun.
Right. Absolutely.
Not if you are an animal, if you're in one. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I love that as much.
Patrick?
I liked it.
Great. Very insightful.
Well, there was a lot of dark, sad stuff, which kind of bummed me out, but it all felt like it belonged, and it was realistic as it could get in a book about aliens and people turning into animals. Gosh, he super did shoot a gun as a hawk. That was real cool. I'm gonna give it a 7, and I don't think I'm going to explain it any more than that.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think a big consensus is a lot of people's favorite character is Tobias over the course of this series. We can get into different reasons about why that happens and stuff, but he does certainly have a lot more internal angst than the other characters. I mean, you could say Rachel has some, but in a different way over time. But it can get really intense, right? Like he's definitely having an identity crisis. He's lost himself. He's trapped in like a forever nightmare type thing. He tries to kill himself. He has to fight like pretty horrible instincts to like eat an animal just off the ground,
Yeah, that's nasty.
The Yeerk mission stuff is a little goofy. You don't know about what is the water really for. This ship disappeared really fast. Why did they not remorph as wolves? There's just things where it's like you didn't see Visitor 3, you didn't seem as scary. It seemed kind of like bye, you're dumb, I'm gonna fly away. So that part didn't hit as much for me, but the internal struggle stuff did for sure. And but it's their biggest victory by a lot, from the 3 books so far. I actually recalled not caring about this one as much, and yet as I read it, I liked it a lot better. So I'm gonna say 8. I'm gonna say 8 out of 10.
Hey,
Positive.
nice. What one decision in the book would you change to make it a better book, or to have them win easier?
Yeah, mine is remorph when you have a moment to do that, so you're not up against the clock. 40 minutes, like, we just got to the place we spent hours getting to. We're gonna limit ourselves to 40 minutes instead of just taking 5 minutes to reset. I couldn't stop thinking about that the whole time. Even while they're like demorphing and they're freaking out, I'm like, this is what do you say to children? This is like self-imposed natural consequences.
You did this to yourself.
You did this to yourself, kids.
That's all these books. Gosh. I'd say at this point it's just you guys need to learn a little bit more about animals. For people who are going out of your way to turn into them, you're just like, yeah, this is what I think about, birds. Birds eat whatever, or, birds act this way, or birds would charge at a helicopter to try and divert it from its course. None of it really makes any sense. And I feel like just go to your local library, pick up, a basic book just about animals. Doesn't matter what the cover looks like. Read a couple of facts and just see if you can figure some things out. That's going to be a regular complaint for me.
What if they picked up an Animorphs book in the library?
Well, this is getting a little meta for me. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, if given all of the knowledge of this whole book, knowing that a Dracon beam can take down a crazy big spaceship, definitely just like 5-on-1 somebody who's carrying a Dracon gun and start shooting.
Yeah, steal that thing.
Bum rush them.
Yeah. Steal one of those and say, hey, I know there's an entrance to the Yeerk Pool that used to be here. Let's blast our way through and just open
Look,
it again.
It's here again.
Hey.
Visser 3 should be
the whole time.
Yeah, Visser 3 should be scared. Every time he shows up, he should be expecting them to whip out the Dracon beam and just start firing at him.
Yeah.
So that way.
Yeah, because it was super irresponsible in book 1 of Elfhanger to give them morphing powers. But then he's just like, well, I hope they don't find this glowing blue cube. I'm just going to toss this into the wreckage, and then we meet here several times and like break things and move construction site stuff around, and hope they never get infinite morphing powers. But then, so that's a kind of obvious thing that we, the audience, are supposed to think. But then the Yeerks should think, hey, we give all of our grunts like guns that can make things just not exist anymore. Yeah, what if one of the Andalite bandits got one of these guns?
Yeah, that would be rough.
That is clearly Andalite hand functioning. Like, Visser can shoot him.
Yeah.
Like, why? They should be scared of dropping guns.
Yeah. Yeah.
If morphing is the ultimate power in the galaxy that everybody really, really wants, that plus a disintegrator beam should really be the new power that everybody wants.
Yes.
I mean, if we let someone turn into an elephant, and then we just zip tie the trigger down on this Dracon beam, and we're having them run full force it. What are you going to do to stop that? Nothing. So that's what I think happens in the next book, is what I'll tell you now.
Yeah.
Watching Austin Powers and him saying, I need sharks with laser beams on their heads, thinking there could be nothing scarier than that. Gosh. Elephant with a Dracon beam strapped
right
to
there.
him.
Unicorn style, just right on the front of the head.
Love it. All right. What major events happened in the United States in July 1996, the month that Animorphs Book 3, The Encounter?
Yeah.
The Encounter came out. All right. So there's a whole bunch of sporting events. It was the 1996 Summer Olympics. It's like the finals for every sport. There's a bunch of wildfires, some bombings. I think the movie Independence Day came out. But, so book 3 of Animorphs is competing against I don't know if you guys have heard of this one, but Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone came out in July 1996.
And this one came out when?
July 1996.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Doesn't ring a bell.
So Animorphs 3 and Harry Potter 1.
I don't think I realized that they were that side by side.
Yeah, I think of them as like post-2000s. I don't know why. Harry Potter's like
Movies.
the same age as us, right?
Yeah.
I think
like
so.
the kid.
Yeah.
Little kid.
The first movie came out when, I think around like 99 or something, like around time Phantom Menace. It was like roughly around then. I do have one last thing.
Okay.
I did go to our Animorphs, the subreddit for Animorphs fans, and
cool.
This isn't a crazy prompt or anything, but it was fairly recent and got pretty popular. So I thought we could talk about it. Do you think Tobias purposely trapped himself as a hawk? We're now 3 books in and we've seen Tobias' point of view. Do you think he trapped himself purposely as a hawk?
Back in book 1, I sure thought so, but then I thought that's a stupid thing to do, because you could be a hawk, but then you could also be a whale.
Else?
You could be you could be anything. But then here, he's upset about it. But I've done things and regretted them later, so I suppose I've presented no good evidence one way or another.
Alex, what do you think?
I think you've got a teenager who caught a fancy new ability, and, I've seen what teenagers do whenever they get the ability to drive, so they make a lot of poor choices and then have to live with them, like you said, natural consequences earlier. And
I locked myself in my car.
This is a very similar thing. And now I have to live as a car. I mean, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting.
Why does my school not have a drive-through?
But I think he was a kid who did something dumb, and had he had a moment when he was a little less emotionally loaded during, having to see all of the horrors of, invasion and brain slavery, maybe he would have
Invasion, visitor, and encounters.
Exactly.
Sorry.
Maybe he would have been a little more mindful of what this might actually look like, because being a bird seemed like it was pretty rad, but turns out it's not actually always rad.
Yeah, I think that's a general idea, right? Like, I think she writes it to where it could be either way. I mean, I did get bugged by the fact that there was, like, Herb specifically described an opening at the top of the cave when they were in that Yeerk Pool place, like a small one at the top. But I get it if you couldn't fly out there, because these Draken beams that they have are, like, basically the biggest superpower in the world. So if they got, if he had been seen, it could be all over. So,
all right, big question. Do you think the hole in the Yeerk Pool ceiling is from somebody Yosemite Samming and
Like
just shooting the Draken beam up the sky?
Gotta celebrate. Pew, 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 pew. Oh, look, moonlight.
Yeah, okay.
Perfect.
Guys, we did it!
Yeehaw!
just dang it, Aftran 728. You just shot a hole through the top. Oh, well, we'll just leave it. Put a manhole cover on it. Fine. Yeah.
Put a little fence around
How
it.
many times do you think someone did fall through that? They're just like walking down the street, just fall through this.
Oh, look,
hole.
we got a new person to be a controller. All right,
Yeah.
you volunteered.
Ultimate.
Yeah, you volunteered through this hole.
This is our passive recruiting platform. What's in this hole? Ah!
They put like a blanket over it, so it's like in the middle of the street. It's a single blanket. And you fall through it. We're getting these controllers one Yeerk at a time.
So they have so many of them.
These blankets are getting expensive.
Great. I'm glad we can take Tobias's internal struggle and joke about it. Well, guys, that was a book. That was a book.
It sure was.
I had a good time.
We read it.
It had everything. Birds with
How
guns.
fast could we read if we had Hawkeyes?
Oh. Hawkeyes, birds with guns, car dealerships, and mall gymnastics shows. What else can you really have?
This book's got it all.
Yeah.
Thermals.
Thermals.
The thermals.
The thermals. Animorphs 55, the podcast, is a fan-driven, nostalgic podcast created by Zach Hurdle, Patrick Viersba, and Alex Holton. But don't tell the Yeerks. Theme music provided by Neko Boy. Podcast artwork by Rachel Hurdle. Episodes edited by Patrick Viersba. Based on the 90s sci-fi kids series written by K.A. Applegate, Michael Grant, and other contributing authors. To contact the show, email animorphspodpeople@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.